Welcome to Unravel, where we pull back the curtains on the quiet tragedies the world ignored. Today, we dive into a heartbreaking case that shook even the most seasoned investigators. This is the story of Lacey Ellen Fletcher, a young woman found sunken, melted into her living room sofa after over a decade of unimaginable neglect. Her death wasn't sudden, it was slow, prolonged, and hidden in plain sight, the call that changed everything. January 3, 2022, Slaughter, Louisiana. Police respond to a call from the Fletcher residence. Inside, they find a woman, not standing, not sitting, but sunken into the couch. Her body melted into the leather, her skin fused to the cushion, and no one had seen her for over a decade. A decade on the couch. Lacey hadn't moved from that sofa in years. Her body had fused with the furniture, maggots nested in open wounds, her legs drawn tight to her chest, arms locked in a frozen position. She weighed just 96 pounds, her skin, raw, broken, ulcerated down to the bone. This wasn't a moment of madness. It was 12 years of neglect, all while her parents lived under the same roof. The girl behind the horror. But Lacey wasn't always this way. In high school, she played volleyball, joined the speech team, made friends. She was bright, kind, a typical teenager. But in her late teens, something changed. Lacey began withdrawing, diagnosed with social anxiety and autism. Slowly, she stopped leaving the house, and eventually, she stopped leaving the couch. The parents' story. Clay and Sheila Fletcher said they were only respecting Lacey's wishes, that she didn't want to see doctors, didn't want to be touched, that they were honoring her autonomy. But medical experts disagreed. They said Lacey couldn't have cared for herself in that state. She needed help, desperately. And for over a decade, she didn't get any. The autopsy that shocked the nation. The coroner's report was chilling. Cause of death, medical neglect, severe malnutrition, untreated ulcers, chronic infections. Her body was slowly breaking down, and she had been conscious through most of it. Alive, aware, and in agony. Her death wasn't sudden. It was the final chapter of a 12-year-long silent scream. A town in disbelief. Slaughter, Louisiana. A tight-knit community. Church-going neighbors. Familiar faces. Yet no one knew, or perhaps no one asked. The Fletchers were respected, active in their congregation. Their home looked ordinary, but behind closed doors, Lacey was vanishing, slowly, painfully, in plain sight. The arrest and charges. In May 2022, a grand jury indicted Clay and Sheila Fletcher for second-degree murder. The courtroom was stunned. Their defense? Lacey made her own decisions. They were just honoring her freedom. But prosecutors argued, freedom doesn't include rotting on a couch while your parents go about their daily lives. Systems that failed her. No hospital visits, no welfare checks, no red flags from doctors, social workers, or neighbors. Lacey was off the grid, unseen, uncared for. The question echoed across newsrooms. How did this happen? How does a young woman die like this? Without anyone noticing? Without anyone intervening? A crime of neglect. This wasn't a horror movie. This was reality. And it wasn't about abuse with fists or rage. It was about absence. About parents who chose silence over care, about a community that turned away, about a girl who disappeared, not with a scream, but with a whisper. National outrage, lasting questions. Across the country, people demanded answers. Headlines exploded. Experts called it one of the worst cases of medical neglect they had ever seen. Was it murder? Was it mental illness? Or was it a deadly mix of both? The only certainty, Lacey Fletcher deserved better. Justice? Or just delay? As of now, the case remains entangled in court delays. The Fletchers are out on bond. And Lacey, the girl who never got up, has become a symbol, not just of cruelty, but of silence, of how easy it is to vanish when no one's looking. Final reflection. Lacey didn't die in a war. She didn't die from poverty. She died in a house with clean curtains, running water, and two parents who told themselves it was fine. Her story reminds us that the worst crimes don't always leave bruises. Sometimes they just leave nothing. No help, no voice, no movement, until it's too late. Subscribe to Unravel for more true stories that the world tried to forget. But we won't let it. New episodes every week, until every voice is heard.